Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed possibly one of the best, if not the best, national championship games we have ever seen. This game had so many headlines for us. Firstly, Trey Burke gets in foul trouble in the first half. He sits down with 2 fouls. Now you're thinking, oh, well, of course they're going to bring him back in. How can they not bring him back in? Little do we know, little Spike Albrecht, Ollie from Hoosiers, comes in and literally saves the day in the first half. 17 points. He has not missed a 3-point shot. Well, he missed one in the second half. He has not missed a 3-point shot going into halftime. I believe he was 9-9. A story that came out of nowhere. A guy who averaged 1.8 points per game during the regular season, recruited by 2 schools, Appalachian State and Michigan. To Spike Albrecht's Jekyll is, I'm pulling a Bill Walton, is Luke Hancock's Hyde. Because Luke Hancock started catching on fire like crazy. 16 first half points. 14 of those came in the last 3:33 of the first half. And not only that, we fell in love with Spike Albrecht. The Twitter followers were going up astronomically. He came into the game with probably 4,000. He's leaving with about 20,000. With Luke Hancock hitting bomb after bomb after bomb, 3-pointer after 3-pointer, that's a 16-5 run that Louisville went on. A quiet yet huge 16-5 run. We go to the second half. Peyton Siva, only 4 first-half points, 14 second-half points. He took over the entire game. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. The absolute worst call of the game, dog shit call, came when Trey Burke perfectly timed his jump against Peyton Siva, blocked him going up for a dunk. They called it a foul. And unfortunately for Michigan, it was a 4-point swing. Russ Smith had some of the most boneheaded plays you'll ever see. Down the stretch with about 1:45, 2 minutes left, Louisville had 3 chances. On the 3rd chance, the shot clock was at 34. Russ Smith gets the ball and shoots a corner 3 with 34 on the shot clock, and they're up. Value the shot clock, young fella. Now after that, he comes down, he fouls Trey Burke. Bad foul. And then after that, turnover, throwing it across the court over Peyton Siva's head. My God, was that horrible. Now Chane Behanen, instead of going with Nick Stauskas, who is a YouTube sensation, he kept with Spike Albrecht. He believed that Spike Albrecht could possibly win him the game somehow. Spike Albrecht did not have a point in the second half. Tim Hardaway Jr. had by far one of the best dunks you'll ever see in March Madness, but he had one of the most quiet games you'll ever see. That dunk was loud. Aside from that, he was a non-factor. How many did he have? 14 points? I'm sorry, he had 12 points, 0 3-pointers. That's why his game was cold and quiet. As I said, Luke Hancock had 16 points in the first half. He only had 6 in the second half, but there was none bigger, and many thought would be the dagger when he hit the corner 3 to put Louisville up 10 with about 4 minutes to go. And Chane Behanen, my God, he did not win the most outstanding player. Luke Hancock did, rightfully so. The transfer from George Mason. My God, did Chane Behanen put in work over and over and over again. With the putback he had, he went high off the glass and it went in. They were saying that was not skill, it was will. Will Blackshear contributed with 18 points. Chane Behanen had 15 and 12. Fantastic game for him. Here was the biggest coaching blunder, in my humble opinion. With about 2 minutes left, Trey Burke has 4 fouls. Okay, obviously, you can't have him foul out or you won't have a chance of winning if you're Michigan. Chane Behanen leaves him out on the court on defense. Now, there was a break in the action where he even subbed in some other Wolverine and he didn't take out Trey Burke. Now, if you put someone on the line, you should have taken out Trey Burke. You should have put in Spike Albrecht because it doesn't matter if he fouls out. You just don't want Trey Burke to be in there. Meanwhile, Trey Burke was guarding the ball handler, Peyton Siva, and then when they rotated around, Burke unfortunately had to switch on to that player. Precious seconds were taken off the clock in the end, and it took forever for John Horford or whoever to go over and foul. A horrible, horrible coaching decision, which Chane Behanen even fessed up to after the game and said, you know, like, hey, that was my bad. So that really, really hurt Michigan down the stretch. Rick Pitino is having the week of his life. Not only is he the first coach ever to win the national championship with 2 schools, 96, the Meadowlands with Kentucky. He has now won it with 2 different schools, Kentucky and Louisville. He is inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. His horse is racing in the Kentucky Derby, and his son just took the job at Minnesota. What an amazing week. As my girlfriend said, he should probably buy a lottery ticket because then, who knows? And not only that, he promised his players that if they won the national championship, he would get a tattoo. So here's to hopefully it being a tramp stamp. It's good. And of course, I'm very glad CBS, took their foot off the gas pedal on this. But of course, to Kevin Ware, a story that we really have never seen in college basketball. We saw it with Sean Livingston. We saw it with Joe Theismann in the NFL. Never seen it in college basketball. They brought down the basket for Kevin Ware to cut down the final part of the net. It was a really, really good moment that I'm glad CBS caught, and that they didn't show him as much as they did in the semifinals. That was really good to see as well. So congratulations to Louisville, an 82-76 winners over Michigan, national champions once again. It's been a long time since they were national champions, so congratulations to them. And one more thing, from a gambling perspective, a Ben Mankiewicz perspective, the spread on this game is 4. Mitch McGary shot about a 3/4 of a court shot. If that went in, Louisville would have won by 3. Oh, I would have loved to have seen it gone.